I'm joined by IGN's own Jonathan Dornbush and from Square Enix, Brendan Doherty, to show off some exclusive gameplay. Let's check out Kingdom Hearts 3. Guys, you'd be hard pressed to find a bigger Kingdom Hearts fan than Jonathan.
Yeah, I like those games quite a bit, you could say. That's an understatement maybe, but yes, I am so excited that Kingdom Hearts 3 is finally here. We have a release date.
We do.
January 29th, 2019. That must be exciting to have out.
Very good to have that out there. Feels good. Yep.
Yeah, and we've actually got some exclusive gameplay here. We have about 5 minutes or so of gameplay you've never seen before.
Very cool.
We right now are looking at the Rock Titan battle in the Hercules world. So I think this shows off the scale of what this game does so well. It's such a massive battle. Can you talk a little bit about what goes into this battle for people who've not gotten a chance to play it, and for people who will? It's on the E3 show floor.
Sure. Yeah. So right now it's showing off a new feature. This is one of the attractions, and this is using the power of the theme parks. So they are getting in on the action on huge bosses like this. Sora's able to summon the power of the parks. And here he is using a version of the railroad, the Big Magic Railroad. He's launching firecrackers at the Rock Titan's face, which is a much safer way to take him down rather than kind of getting in there with the Keyblade. Nice little dodge move right there. And then I'm not sure if you're going to finish it off. If you look in the bottom left, when you push the finishing button, it'll go in and just do a huge amount of damage. Like it'll take off like 80% of his final life bar. On the green screen.
I love the attraction flow integration because it brings the Disney magic to life in such a new way, and you're seeing rides you may know from Disneyland or any Disney World parks around the world, and they're here, and you can use them to take down amazing big scale enemies, but also just throughout the world, some of them come into play.
Exactly, yeah, some of them, like you might have the teacups might appear here. Sora's got the option here. Oh, he's doing the Toy Story Keyblade. So yeah, it reminds you of like the Disney parade, like the electric magic parade, with some of the lights on that. And so we've got the teacups, we've got the pirate ships. I think we showed the splash ride today in one of the trailers.
That's one of my favorites.
That's really fun. You leave like a little trail of water. You kind of like lasso up the enemies, jump around, and then at the end, Sora, Donald, and Goofy will go and like follow the trail and just smash them. It's great.
Yeah, and so you were talking a little bit, there are Keyblade Transformations. This is one of sort of the biggest combat mechanics in the game, and I loved testing all of them out. Each world's Keyblade has different Keyblade transformations, correct?
Yes, and this is new for KH3 in a big way, that each Keyblade is going to have a couple transformations, and so you kind of have like 3 Keyblades in one Keyblade, and for the first time, Sora can equip multiple Keyblades at the same time, switch between them on like the D-pad by pushing like left or right, and then bam, you switch, like he's got like his Monsters Inc. Keyblade, you can then switch over to the Toy Story Keyblade, so all of a sudden you're comboing the Heartless using different attacks from the different worlds, and it's pretty fun.
Yeah, and moving on, so we're still in the Toy Story world right now with some of the gameplay.
They got the mechs.
Yes, so these are the Giga Bots, which are sort of exclusive solely to the Toy Story world. Each world has its own sort of gimmick gameplay, unique features that you can try out. The Gigas, I love playing these. Can you tell us a little bit more about them?
Sure, yeah, so in the Toy Story world, we find out that Andy's missing, a bunch of the toys are missing, so the Green Army men find a clue that something's going on in Galaxy Toys, the local toy store. It's kind of reminiscent of like an FAO Schwartz, you know, on steroids almost. And here, Sora can kind of get into a like a first-person shooter mode with the Gigas mechs. So he jumps into them, and some of the other ones are possessed by the Heartless. And then different color Gigases have different attacks. So you know, one's like a melee one's got like cluster bombs, one just has like a huge laser.
And what's super nice about them too is you're able to fly around with them. So you really get to see the scale of this world, because you are obviously toy-sized, but you're exploring, I think it's 3 or 4 floors of a giant toy store. So you get to be able to fly around and basically drop through. The entire area is open to you.
Yes.
It's super exciting to see the scale shown off, and we have a little bit of that here just to give you an idea. This is sort of the main area of the toy store that you can explore, and Sora can just skate around up to the different levels. You can also fly up them. It's the scale, I assume, must be a big thing for not just this world, but all the worlds in Kingdom Hearts 3. It must be a big focus.
Yeah, I mean, especially Toy Story shows off the scale, just because, as you were saying, he is toy-sized, so you kind of have that fun messing with perspective. But the scale is there in all the worlds. You know, some of these are just like the biggest environments that I've seen in a Kingdom Hearts game. yeah, some of the other worlds I can't mention right now. It's just,
Of course.
It's,
Are you sure? Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, we won't.
Ralph. Let's talk about him.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, there are summons in the game. They're links, as they're called on the menu. But they're really awesome because they each sort of apply to the character you're summoning. So the Wreck-It Ralph one, for example, is this. He appears from the 2D game into the 3D world. And you guys also just revealed Simba and Ratatouille summons
Yes.
as well today.
Well, so Simba, yeah, it's like fire elemental, and
Yes.
that's really cool. He uses the King's Flare attack.
Yeah.
Kind of looks like Ifrit from the Final Fantasy series a little bit, and just totally lights the bad guys on fire. Really powerful, as you would expect the Lion King to be.
You would hope. Yeah.
We kind of have like a water elemental with Ariel, the Little Mermaid. We've shown that in a previous trailer. And then with Wreck-It Ralph, he kind of builds up and smashes. He wrecks the blocks.
Yes.
Ratatouille, we've shown a little bit. We haven't quite dove into what he's doing, but he's not actually a link attack.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. Okay, I saw Sora cooking and sort of.
Sora
just
is
assumed that
cooking,
was...
yes.
Okay, interesting.
And
Right.
this is a new world you're introducing here at E3, is that right?
Yes, so this was huge for us. This is announcing Frozen, one of the crown jewels of like the Disney, like neo golden age of Disney.
Right.
And Sora's using his, here's some Blizzard blades right now.
And you have this awesome moment of the goofy curling, which is one of the Frozen World's mechanics. Are they doing a bunch of extreme sports in this world? Is that essentially what they're up to this time around?
Yeah, that's kind of a good idea of it, of using like Goofy's shield to kind of sled down the hills.
Yeah.
And, it makes sense, downhill sledding.
And I love that you see some of the new Heartless and other enemies in this world, whether it's those ice dragons, which just seem so imposing and scary, as well as some of there's deer-like Heartless in the Frozen world.
The ice dragons are awesome. The Heartless deer are actually the favorite in the office.
They're adorable.
They are adorable.
Elsa stops it. I wanted to see it live. It seems so sweet.
Kingdom Hearts 3 is coming to Xbox for the first time. You guys were at the Xbox briefing yesterday. So more than likely, you're going to be getting a lot of new fans, people who haven't played Kingdom Hearts before. How are you planning on sort of introducing them to the world of Kingdom Hearts?
Well, for one thing, a lot of it is the Disney magic. Like everyone kind of has that Disney background they can jump into.
Sure.
And then also, it's a great time because like we're at the climactic moment of the series, and it's pretty easy to jump in the sense that, like it's a Disney movie, you can tell who's good and who's evil. Like the evil wizard, like Xehanort, is like, you can tell he's the bad guy, he looks pretty sinister. The people in black cloaks, that's Organization 13. You can kind of tell they're up to no good. So sometimes Kingdom Hearts gets like a rap for like a complicated story, but really you can narrow it down to like the power of friendship and light versus darkness. And if you can understand that, you can easily understand the Kingdom Hearts story.
And if you can't understand that, what's going on? Please tell us about your troubles. One of the things I love about this Frozen trailer, which was first revealed at the Xbox conference, and then also a new trailer revealed a remix of this one with some new footage at the Square Enix press conference stream event. There's a lot of hints about what Organization 13 is up to, seeing Xehanort in all his different forms, and obviously this tease at the end with Aqua for players who do know the franchise really well. Seems things are wrong with Aqua. Can you tease at all how dark this game gets? Because these trailers have been pretty rough, it seems, for the characters we love.
Yeah, so Aqua is the blue-haired Keyblade Master, and for those who don't know, in the Birth by Sleep series and also in 2.8, she ends up in the Dark World, trapped in the Dark World at the end. And it's not good to be trapped in the Dark World for that long. It looks like some corruption might have happened, and she's supposed to be one of our heroes. And to have her turn could be very bad news for the rest of them. So Nomura-san is a master at kind of like leaving things in the trailers that like you don't see at first, and then like if you look over time, you look back and like I look at the stuff that we did in 2015 even, and knowing what I know now since I've seen a lot more of the game, it's like, oh, that you go back and you kind of see what he was hinting at and seeing the steps and the breadcrumbs that he leaves, and it's the fans, there's a lot for the fans to kind of explore and get excited about.
It'll hopefully be wrapping up a lot of the story threads that we've had hanging from all the spin-offs and the main entries for sure.
Yes.
And there's also, what I love, if you can maybe speak to it, we've spoken about the transformations, the Keyblade Transformations, some of the attraction flow, there's flow motion. Can you talk a little bit about just the wealth of different combat in this game? Because it feels like it pulls from so many different entries in the franchise, marries them together.
Yeah, so for the people that have been the console fans, maybe just played KH1 and KH2 back on the PS2, like they'll find a lot has changed, or in the sense that Sora's like more dynamic, he's more agile, and a lot of that is that in the handheld titles, like Birth by Sleep and some of the 3DS titles, Dream Drop Distance, they kind of experimented with some iterations on the combat, and it was a really good place to see like, okay, what works, this is great, and then it all gets like polished and put into KH3. So, you know, fans of the series who've been with us throughout, they'll kind of like appreciate the steps and like how we've gotten to this spot. If you haven't played from KH2, you'll be like, oh, like this is really fun, and Sora's pretty quick, and especially with the Keyblade Transformations, he just has a wealth of attacks and you know, like a lot more than just sort of like a basic melee attack. He's, you know, got 3 different attacks for every single Keyblade.
All right, well, thank you so much for coming by the IGN stage. Kingdom Hearts 3 is out January 29th, and I think, Jonathan, we'll have some more info on Kingdom Hearts 3 coming out for you later on this week.